Hello, welcome back to Beauty Bee, where today we are talking about my skincare routine, or at least the skincare routine of the last, let's say, month and a half or so. Now let's just start with a disclaimer. I am not a dermatologist, I'm not an esthetician, I'm not even someone who knows a lot about skincare just for a layperson. This is just what I've been using, what I've been enjoying, and it's been working, I think, pretty well for me. My skin has looked pretty clear the last 4 weeks or so. Most of what I use is pretty inexpensive, and I think there's only one thing that is a bit higher end, and that is a sample that will be gone very soon. I was kind of on a time crunch to film this video before I had to toss that out and couldn't show it to you. Of course, if you do have any serious skin concerns, this is not the place to go. A, I don't have any particularly serious skin concerns anymore, and B, it is likely a good idea to go visit a dermatologist. An expert opinion never hurts, and though consulting a dermatologist may seem like a big expense, it is likely less pricey than throwing a bunch of fancy skincare at it and seeing if that makes it better, and then eventually quite possibly having to go to a dermatologist anyway. For context, I have quite normal skin. I can sometimes get a little bit oily during the summer, and I do feel that my skin needs a little bit of extra hydration during the winter, but I would say that 90% of the time I have really middle of the road normal skin. My biggest concerns are occasional acne. I will get it right here for some reason, and then a little bit along my chin or on my upper lip. I used to have very oily skin and be very acne prone. I do have quite a bit of acne scarring just around the perimeter of my face, though I don't think that really tends to come off on camera unless I just hit the light in the exact wrong way. I do also occasionally get some redness, especially right around my chin, but I don't really do anything specific to combat that. Most of the products that I choose are aimed somewhat towards anti-breakout. I don't think I necessarily need that anymore. However, I haven't quite accepted that maybe I'm not as acne prone as I used to be, and I'm a little bit afraid that if I stop using everything anti-acne, that it will just come back, and I really do not want that. So let's start with sunscreen. Now, I have not actually been great about using sunscreen recently. I tend to use this Neutrogena Clear Face. This is SPF 55, and it says it won't cause breakouts. Now, in my case, I don't think it ever has. I know I should be better about using sunscreen, but I haven't been good about wearing it every day recently. I'm much better about it during spring, summer, and fall, but it's winter, it's quarantine. I'm not exactly going outside ever really, except for to go to the mailbox or, from my car door into the grocery store and back. So while I do like this product, this is probably my third bottle of it, maybe even more. It hasn't been getting a ton of use recently. Now let's start with cleansers, starting with the one makeup remover I use, which is the oil-free eye makeup remover from Up and Up, which is Target brand. This is oil-free, but it's kind of odd because it really does look a little bit oily to me. It is one of those cleansers that sort of separates into something that looks a little bit oily and something that looks kind of watery, and you have to shake up before use. I often will not wear base makeup, so I find that this is enough, just followed with a regular cleanser, which we'll get to in just a second, to take off all my makeup. I do like this. I think that it is pretty quick and pretty effective, but again, though it claims to be oil-free, it does leave kind of an oily film around my eyes that I find that I need to take off with water. So speaking of cleanser, this is the oil-free acne wash from Neutrogena. Like I said, most of my skincare is aimed towards anti-acne. This is kind of on the lotiony side. It feels very gentle, but I do find that it gets all of my makeup off and it leaves my skin feeling fairly clean. Certainly not squeaky clean. It doesn't dry me out at all, but it does strike a nice balance. I do wish that it would be just a tiny bit stronger. I do really appreciate that feeling really, really clean sensation after washing my face. And this is just a hair too hydrating to really give me that. I have two treatments that I use occasionally. The first is the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Gel. It's salicylic acid in a tube. I apply this to any breakouts, and I do think that it actually helps them heal and look better faster. I don't have any scientific backing for that, but it feels like it happens. This is quite inexpensive. I think this is somewhere in between $3 and $5 on e.l.f.'s website, and I've had this for ages. I really should probably replace this, but I actually have not used a huge amount of it. I thought that you would be able to see that, but it's right about here in the tube. So I've used maybe a quarter to a third of it, and I've had this for years. I'm actually considering repurchasing this, even though it's not gone, just because I suspect that this is probably past its expiration date, and maybe a newer bottle would be even more effective. The other treatment that I use is from The Ordinary. This is their vitamin C suspension, 23% with hyaluronic acid spheres, 2%. This is a very, very thin lotion-like product. It does feel kind of gritty, and it feels sort of warm on the skin. It's kind of odd. I do not dislike this product. I do think that my skin tends to react pretty well to vitamin C, and I do find this pretty brightening. However, I don't think that the packaging is right for the consistency of the product. I find that I get a lot of excess product that gathers in and around the cap. And while the price was right, I think that once I run out of this, I will likely look and see if I can find something at a slightly higher price point with a little bit better packaging, and maybe that has a little bit less of that grit to it. I don't mind the grit, but it would definitely be a plus to me if I could find something without it. When I do eventually run out of that vitamin C, I think I will likely end up looking to the Inkey list for a potential replacement. This is the only product that I have tried from the Inkey list thus far. It is their Brighten Eye Cream. Now, there's actually a good amount of product in here. There's a half a fluid ounce, and I think this cost maybe $10 or $12 at Sephora. I mean, it's eye cream, it's white, it has this little metal applicator that I don't use. I always just get it on my finger and apply it that way. But it does feel nice on the skin, and I do think that it has done a pretty good job of brightening up my under eyes. This claims to be sort of part makeup, part skincare, and they say that if you put this under your eyes, you'll get sort of an illuminated effect immediately. I don't notice that. I also don't tend to wear this during the day. I will usually just put this on at night after I've removed my makeup. It does make my under eye feel a little bit more hydrated, and I think look a little bit brighter. I don't suffer with particularly dark under eyes, so maybe I'm not the best judge of that. It's really a good product, and I think that when I run out of this, which will not be for quite a long time, I can't quite see through the tube, but I cannot imagine that I've used more than maybe this much of it. I think I would probably repurchase it. I got a message that I needed to reply to, so I had to reset up my camera. Hopefully things look relatively similar. We were just about to move on to moisturizer, which is the last step I have to talk about. My usual moisturizer is this Neutrogena Soothing Clear Turmeric Oil-Free Gel Moisturizer. This claims to hydrate and calm stressed acne-prone skin. Is my skin particularly stressed? Not really, but I do tend to like these gel-based moisturizers. Man, my hand is going to be looking 10 years younger by the time I'm done with this video. It does sink in pretty nicely, and I love the smell of this. It does smell, I assume, like turmeric. To me, it smells like a bit of a spicy citrus scent. I think I've referred to it as like tang tea before, and if you've never had that, you should. It is delightful. Anyway, I do find that this provides enough moisture in my skin without feeling greasy, and I think that I would likely repurchase this if I were to run out of it. I, as you can probably see, tend to really like Neutrogena's skincare. I didn't mention this, but I will use this about every other night, as well as in the morning if I am not wearing sunscreen. I don't like how the mixture of these two feels on my skin, but I do like wearing something on my skin, so this is what I tend to go for. I say that I tend to use the Neutrogena moisturizer about every other night because every second or third night recently I've been using this First Aid Beauty mask. This is the Fab Pharma Arnica Relief and Rescue Mask. This is their Soothe and Distress. From reading reviews on Sephora, it seems that this is great for people who have really itchy skin, really irritated skin, or deal with a lot of redness. Now, I don't have any of that, so I can't really attest to it, but here is what this looks like. It sort of looks like toothpaste to me. It's got a little bit of a blue-green tint, and this smells like aloe vera, I think. Yeah, it definitely has that sort of herbal medicinal scent to it. It's not bad, and I don't notice it lingering on my face. This is a leave-on mask. I tend to use it just as a nighttime moisturizer, and I do think it works fine for my skin, but it definitely is not something that I would buy. This is a fairly pricey product, and clearly I'm not into super expensive skincare. Also, I just don't think that I am in need of a product like this. I don't deal with a ton of redness. I don't have super irritated skin. Soothing and de-stressing isn't really necessary, so I don't feel the need to pay for it. So there is my skincare routine. Again, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not an esthetician, and I clearly do not know a ton about skincare. However, I have been using all of these products for quite a while, and if you are interested in any of them and have any questions, I am more than happy to give my very non-expert opinion. I hope that this was interesting and or enjoyable, and that you will consider liking and subscribing if it was. I am already looking forward to next time. See ya!